now my distinct pleasure to introduce the mayor of our great one city, Mayor Vincent C. Great.
Thank you very much, Ken Slaughter. You know what? Wasn't that a fantastic performance by our students from Anacostia and Eastern High Schools? It's nice to see that we're bringing back. We had a period here in the city when a lot of our bands started to disappear. It's nice to see now that the high schools are bringing back the bands to the city, because it gives our students, our talented students, yet another opportunity to participate in student life. And Anacostia High School now has been completely renovated. We just finished that about 9 months ago. And Eastern High School, we finished a little over a year ago. So we're well on our way to having completed all of our high schools in the city. We just opened the brand new Dunbar High School. That was dedicated about 2 weeks ago. And for those of you who have not seen Cardozo High School, you need to go see it. It is absolutely fantastic. It is a building that has sterling, just absolutely spectacular architecture. And the renovation that was done was absolutely extraordinary, which preserves that building. Everybody know where Cardozo High School is? Well, you need to go see it, because it is well worth seeing. And yet another example of the things that we're doing here in the city. I want to quickly introduce the people who are on the stage here with us today, and you'll hear from every one of them. First of all, the gentleman who heads the region, the Federal Highway Administration, the region, and is a great partner, a great guy to work with, and that is Chris Lawson. Chris, thank you for being here with your family here today as well. Our director of the Department of, the district Department of Transportation, who I think has done an absolutely incredible job. Terry started right about the same time that I did in January of 2011, and so many projects fall within the purview of the DC Department of Transportation, and when they don't go well, unfortunately, you know it. But you don't hear a lot about DDOT, because DDOT is doing such a great job under Terry Bellamy's leadership. Terry? And the gentleman who is the chief engineer for DDOT, who, you know, he and Terry are always together. Whenever I meet with Terry, Nick is always there. And that, of course, is our chief engineer, Nick Nicholson. Nick? And someone who I have gotten to the opportunity to work with very closely since, not just since she was elected. She's the chair of the party in the District of Columbia also. She is everywhere. I hope some of you are getting her e-newsletter also, because it's just chock full of information. Someone who really gives meaning to what it means to be an at-large council member, and that is Council Member Anita Bonds. Anita? And our outstanding, I just saw a great article about her in the New York Times last Sunday. Someone who I just think the world of. I love working with her. She is a great law enforcement leader, but even more than that, she is a great human being. And that is our police chief, Chief Cathy Lanier. You know, today marks the completion of the construction of the local phase, if you will, of the 11th Street Bridge. And it is really a wonderful milestone to have reached, a wonderful accomplishment. In fact, I hope the symbolism wasn't lost on you all about Anacostia and Eastern high schools. This bridge is a great way of connecting East and West. And that's what we need to do more of in the city. For those who don't know, no particular reason why you should, I don't even use the term east of the river anymore. because when people say east of the river, they oftentimes don't necessarily mean something positive. Now we have a west end of the city over there, so now we have an east end over here. And frankly, we are 8 wards, all part of one city in the District of Columbia, and we need to continue working together, ladies and gentlemen. So, again, I'm delighted to be here with you all. This is the largest construction project that has ever been undertaken by DDOT. Is that right, Terry? The largest construction project. And it isn't just this bridge. There are a number of other components to this bridge which now are beginning to unfold. I know there were lots of people who saw this thing developing and couldn't quite figure out exactly what this was going to be like with the flyovers and bridges going this way and that way. But it really has started to make sense now, and it's wonderful to see. I know the people who use Pennsylvania Avenue Southeast, they don't have to go up the freeway onto Pennsylvania Avenue and then take a left to get back onto 295 anymore. You can get on there directly, and frankly, the traffic has been reduced tremendously on Pennsylvania Avenue as a result of that, and I know there are people who really appreciate that. This is all part of a $10 billion transformation, the Anacostia waterfront initiative, which this is kind of the centerpiece of it. There will be more waterfront projects that will be taking place. Later this year, we will do the groundbreaking for the Anacostia, the Southwest Waterfront initiative that is going to completely redo the entire area along Main Avenue. That will take a number of years, of course, but pay attention because it's going to make a major transformation in that area of the city. You know, this also improves the flow of traffic from Maryland and Virginia. But we now are working on, Chris, we're just working on a one-way flow. And that is, we're inviting people from Maryland, people from Virginia to come to the District of Columbia, move in, begin paying taxes, and they don't ever have to go back to wherever they previously lived in Maryland and Virginia. In all seriousness, our population is growing at the rate of 1,100 to 1,200 people a month. We now have 632,000 people who live in the District of Columbia. 10 years ago, 11 years ago, we were at 501,000. And at the rate we are growing, I was just saying to Chris, by 2032, we will be at 850,000 people living in the District of Columbia. And frankly, given the opportunity, we will be able to be as self-supporting as we possibly can be as any state in the US of A. There also have been training programs that have been conducted. I know Terry and Nick have been involved in that, and that is to be able to prepare people for jobs. We've had residents of Wards 7 and 8 who reached the certification stage and have been certified for jobs and have been hired as a part of the construction that's going on here. And this isn't all that DDOT is about. You'll hear from Terry, and I'm sure he'll talk more about it, but we've got our Great Streets projects. We've got the circulator that now is coming east as well. We've got the bike share program. We now have 22,000 members of the bike share program. And our streetcar program. Our streetcars will start running by the end of this year. And I know I can see that look on Terry's face. That's right, isn't it, Terry? The first line will be on 8th Street from 3rd Street at Union Station out to Oklahoma Avenue. And a lot of the work has been done. I guess the catenaries will start going up soon in order to make that happen. In any event, it's an exciting time to be in the District of Columbia. And these are the kind of days, these are the kind of events that make it even more exciting to be here. I want to ask, first of all, our council member, if she would come up and say a few words to greet everybody who's here. I know she's excited about this as well, and I want to thank her for coming out. Please join me in welcoming Council Member Anita Bonds.
Well, hello, everyone. Is this this not a good day, I'm sorry, a great day for community? Is it? Is it? Not only do we have excellent weather, when I look out and I see, as the mayor just said, we have the west and the east. I'm assuming we have people here from all parts of the District of Columbia. Am I correct? Yeah. All right, okay, well that's the answer. Well, it's my pleasure to actually be here at today's celebration of really, and I'm going to talk about the money, $10 billion of waterfront initiative, because that's where the rubber hits the road with our money. So for those who are residents and visitors, and of course for the government members, I know that we are very appreciative of how we are spending our money to begin to bring about progress across the city so that all neighborhoods are benefiting. Now, I don't think we could ask for much more. We want to continue to make a difference across the city with these kinds of projects. And I especially appreciate the fact that it's bringing communities together. That's what we have to do more of. We have to do more of, don't we agree? Absolutely. To bring community together? Right. Anyway, you're not here to hear just a silly little speech. You want to enjoy, and we have some more entertainment for you. But before I leave the dais, I have a few special guests that we'd like to acknowledge. And I see so many advisory neighborhood commissioners, so if I could ask, if you are a commissioner in the District of Columbia, please raise your hand so the audience can acknowledge you. Okay? Thank you very, very much. You see what I mean? They're everywhere. They're everywhere. That's excellent. Also, we have a group of special women who are here. The Miss Senior DCs, and I do have about 4 names here. I hope I'm going to get everyone right. The reigning Miss Senior is Nancy Berry. She has her crown on, okay? And former pageant queens are Sandra Bears, Ann Thomas, and Shirley Rivlin Smith, and Mary McCoy. Okay, aren't they lovely? For people like me, I know what I have to strive for, okay? Anyway, we also, if there are other special guests here other than the entertainers and other than the you and me's, those who are just citizens enjoying, you want to raise your hand so we can acknowledge you too? All right, there you go. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, and please enjoy. So on behalf of the council, I bring you greetings, and I want you to have a wonderful time, and let's just look forward to and make more of these kinds of happenings happen in our great community, the District of Columbia. Thanks.
Please join me now in welcoming the Chief Engineer of the District Department of Transportation, who, once he's finished, he will introduce the Director, Director Bellamy, who will then introduce Administrator Chris Lawson. So please join me in welcoming Nicholson.
Thank you, sir. Well, good afternoon. As the Chief Engineer and a registered bridge geek, any opening of a structure like this, a bridge, is a great day. And whoever was responsible for the weather, I want to thank them. But I really want to thank all of you for giving us, the Transportation Department of the District of Columbia, the opportunity to bring you infrastructure improvements such as this. The catalyst, the reason we're here was there was a need, a great need to unite the Capitol Hill communities with the Anacostia communities. Not only that, we had commuters that were driving through our communities, really trying to get to destinations of employment and outside of the city. Through transportation efforts, we were able to come up with a solution that separated those commuters from our local communities. This last structure here, this bridge, the bridge that we would dedicate today, is our solution into connecting those communities in a way that provides not only transportation in vehicles, but as I see people walking, I look at the bicycles, the cyclists out there, we have a multimodal, sustainable solution to our transportation needs. And that's why we're here. That's what makes this day great. I would like to take this opportunity to kind of thank some of the companies, the ones who really were out here with the blood, sweat, and tears making it happen. Our contracting joint venture of Skanska, USA Civil, Facina Construction Company, our engineer of record, the one that came up with those beautiful overlooks and everything else, Johnson, Marion, and Thompson, and their partners, AECOM USA. Let's give them a round of applause for their outstanding efforts. But with them, there was a partnership that we developed with a firm called HNTB that allowed us uniquely, DDOT and this company, to come up and oversee and make sure that as these improvements were constructed, the community will be engaged, involved, and participate as we move through the disruption of construction. I would like to thank HNTB and all of their professionalism in helping us get this project completed. Not only completed and giving it to you, but completed, Mayor, with over $100 million in savings, 6 months ahead of schedule. I'm gonna say that again, because y'all ain't hear me. 6 months ahead of schedule. And $100 million savings. This is an economic revitalization program. As we look to my right, your left, at everything that's happening in the Navy Yard, Capitol Hill area, we look what's going on in the Anacostia improvements. We look forward to continue to bring these to our communities to make sure that we stay pace with the growth that the mayor was talking about. I can't help but take this opportunity as I look out over this vast growing city to point out that our next real effort will be the next big project ever in the District of Columbia. That is the replacement of the South Capitol Street Bridge. We look forward to, again, working with both communities as we move forward to that moment. At this time, it takes me great pleasure in introducing my boss, the director of the Department of Transportation, one who not only motivates but gives vision to make sure all these things happen, the Director of Transportation, Terry Bellamy.
All right, good afternoon. And first I want to thank Mayor Gray for having the confidence in the DDOT team to deliver these projects. He actually challenged us every day. So I want to personally thank him for the challenge that he gives us. I want to thank the council members, DDOT, the project partners, for all of this phenomenal accomplishment that we've done. This bridge is an emergent undertaking, a worthwhile celebration. When I look out and I see the vest, the work vest, I've been to a lot of work sessions and graduations of the men and women of the District of Columbia that have gone through the training program. And it's always good to see them out there. This is a part, and they'll continue as we go forward on the South Cap Bridge project. This is a testimony to the hard work that the mayor and council and DDOT has done to help train and retrain our workforce here in the community. The 11th Street Bridge project began in 2005. We were just able to deliver on it. It's been a lot of people, a lot of previous directors, a lot of previous chief engineers. But the District Department of Transportation, along with the Federal Highway Administration, designed to improve a much-needed highway connection between Southeast Southwest Freeway and the Anacostia Freeway in Southeast Washington, D.C. The new bridge now provides new freeway connection, a route that pedestrian vehicles and cyclists can use. And most important is that this was an opportunity for us to put LED lights on a major bridge that will conserve energy and conservation of our resources here in the District of Columbia. In my years living and working in the District of Columbia, I've seen the revitalization and emergence of a new city. I am proud of the economic impact that this bridge and all of the FHWA projects have done. Again, thank you for your continued support of our vision for safer, modern, multimodal transportation systems in and around our city. Today, we are creating a world-class transportation city. Now I am pleased to join in welcoming the U.S. Federal Highway Administration Division Administrator Chris Lawson, who will extend remarks from the U.S. DOT, and his son. Chris.
Good afternoon, Washington, D.C. I would like to thank the organizers of today's event for inviting me to be here today. My name is Chris Lawson, and on behalf of the Administrator of the Federal Highway Administration, Victor Mendez, I would like to say congratulations to the community who are going to be able to enjoy this historic and newly improved structure here in Washington, D.C. There are a lot of people to thank. There are members of my staff who are not here today, as well as my partner, Terry Bellamy, and his staff, who have worked hard on this bridge for many, many months and years. Now, a little bit about the Federal Highway Administration. I am one of 52 division administrators around the country. There's one division administrator in each state, the District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. And we partner with the Departments of Transportation to build projects such as these. But one thing you should know, I have a great opportunity to travel all around the country. And everywhere I go, everybody wants to live in Washington, D.C. Yes. Everybody wants to live in Washington, D.C. Now, while I partner with the State Department of Transportation here in the district, we can't build these projects without the private sector. So I would like to thank the contractors that I know of. There are so many, but Skanska Ficina, all of the subcontractors, the disadvantaged business enterprise community, HNTB, led by Peter McDonough. There are so many contractors to thank. And as you all may well be aware of, the headquarters of the United States Department of Transportation is just behind us. The previous Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, has been here many times. Victor Mendez, my boss, has been here many times. And I just want to thank everybody for delivering a safe project to the community, one that connects communities. You are being watched every day. And I'm just so proud to say that this project has been delivered in an exemplary fashion, and taxpayers' dollars have been put to good use. So with that, congratulations to everyone here today, and I want to thank you for your attention. Thanks. Say bye. Say bye.
Thank you to the Lawson family.
You know, I'm going to ask our Chief of Police to come up now, but in her coming up, a few comments I want to make, and then I want to ask her to build upon that. The bridge is being dedicated today to the memory of Officer Kevin Welch. He's a veteran member of the Special Operations Department of the Metropolitan Police Department, who gave his life in the line of duty in 1986. One of the most selfless, extremely dangerous rescue efforts that ever has been tried in the District of Columbia. And the rescue effort was actually successful, except that Officer Welch lost his life in the course of it. I think we know how much he epitomized bravery, how much he epitomized unyielding service to the people of this great city, and the dedication that he brought to his job. He was honored by President Reagan when this situation happened. He was also honored as the Person of the Week by ABC News, Nightly News in 2002. And then in 2010, just about 3 years ago, his legacy was further memorialized when the Special Operations Division renamed its newly acquired aluminum chambered boat in his honor. So in recognition of his heroic service, and his family is here with us today. You gonna bring them up, Chief? Okay. They are here with us, and I want to thank them for being here. But please join me now in welcoming our Chief of Police, Chief Cathy Lanier.
So I'll start off by saying, if you look behind you in the water, you will see some of those dedicated police officers and firefighters in our police harbor and fire harbor boats out there on the water. So there's some of your dedicated public servants out there today while we're here. I also want to recognize we have several fallen police officers, family members here today. Mr. Dinamo, who represents cops, is here today. So for all of the cops representatives and family members of fallen police officers who are here today, can you please raise your hand? Look at Miss Shirley Gibson. She's so short. There she is, right in the front. And then I'd like to ask Kevin's family if you guys can come up. And I would even let you bring Steve with you, against my better judgment. So as the family makes their way up, I'll give you a little bit of background. This bridge is being dedicated in the memory of Officer Welsh, his family who is making their way up to the stage today. Brothers Joe and Terry. Terry actually still on MPD at works out of the 1st District. Terry's son, Kevin's nephew, also on MPD, currently working out of 1D. Kevin's 2 sons, Kevin Jr. and Joe, are here. His niece Jessica and his partner that day, a retired police lieutenant that I worked a lot of years with in MPD, Steve Odell. I want to also recognize, I see a lot of retired police officers in the audience here. Most of them have on collared shirts, yellow or white polo shirts with MPD's logo on it. But for the retired police officers who came back for this dedication day, can you guys raise your hand? All you retired? You know, in 1986, when we lost Officer Welsh, he and his partner on the way into work were made aware of a woman who was in distress in the water, and both went in to try and save a life. His partner and the woman did survive. Kevin did not. At the time when this horrible event happened, Kevin's son, Kevin Jr., was 5 years old, and Officer Welsh's wife, Judy, was pregnant with their 2nd son, Joe. Officer Welsh never had the opportunity to meet his younger son, who just happened to be born on Officer Welsh's birthday. Officer Welsh's wife, Judy, later passed away due to cancer in 2005. So for the police officers that serve the communities here, and the police officers that came here today, and every police officer and firefighter, I will say, that you see out there in your communities, these are the sacrifices that public servants make every day. And I can tell you, every single day, I see a police officer or a firefighter injured in the line of duty. And just this morning, I went to participate in the 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb to recognize nearly 350 firefighters and 50 police officers that all lost their life in a single day on 9/11. So for the family and friends of the police officers that are here today, and for the community members that support us, we thank you for your support. And I'd like to give Kevin's son a minute to make a few comments. He's such a wonderful, wonderful speaker, and I think he would like to say a few words to you.
Just wanted to briefly take a moment to thank everybody for coming out. Also thank Police Chief Lanier and Mayor Gray and all the members of DDOT that made this happen today. It's truly, truly a great honor. It means a lot to our family that after so many years, my father still be recognized. We miss him, we miss our mom a lot. And also wanted to take a moment to recognize all the other emergency response people that have lost their lives in the line of duty. Thank you to all of them, and thank you again for coming out here. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
We had the honor of unveiling the plaque here today, and I don't think it'd be right for us to just unveil the plaque without having a family come up with us. Do the unveiling.